As it was prophesied. So it shall be. So it shall be. Chat, welcome to a rare, exceedingly rare, Monday stream. That's right, it's Monday, and I'm here on Twitch. We're doing things together. It's... I don't want to say unprecedented, because if the moment I do, I'll remember a time that I've streamed on a Monday before. But it's Monday, and I'm here. Hello! My name is Pixel. I'll be your GM for the evening. Hello to Zelight Fury and the man with two hats. Excellent timing, man with two hats. Traffic must have been pretty good. And you are going to be literally up in the air in about an hour. That is exciting as all hell, Zelight Fury. I'm well. I'm well. I had a good day. Had a good day today. Long day at work. Hard day of work. Definitely did so many things. 100%. We're all aware of that. It's a bit of a chilly night. It's a bit cold. I've got my jacket on, which is not something I usually have. But I have less than a week to go before I'm expected to run Menace Under Otari, which is the Pathfinder 2 beginner box adventure. So I'm going to be preparing for that now, because I have to prepare for it at some point. And if I don't have a method of external validation isn't the right word, but if I don't have a method of external reinforcement, maybe? No, that's not the word. Commitment's not the right word either. There's a word for it, where you're like beholden to someone. I genuinely have forgotten the word, but that's okay. I don't need words to run games. Yes, people to engaged, accountable. So Light Fury, thank you. Accountable is 100% the word I was thinking of there. I need some external accountability in order to get this prep done. Thank you, Labard. Engaged is also definitely the word. I need y'all to keep me engaged as much as possible, because this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun for me. This is going to be a really interesting time. Also, new stream layout, in a manner of speaking. We've got new background video, bit of sunlight streaming down on a gaming table. I figure we can use that for some prep things. I like the trans... I like the thing, I like this background. Don't get me wrong. I love this background. Even now, I still love it. But, I don't know. It's a bit much. I feel like this is a little more subtle, a little more subdued. I can hide some little trans stuff in these backgrounds as I go. This is a piece of stock art that I grabbed with some random credits I had lying around still from Adobe stock. Just laid some stuff over the top of that because I wanted something quick and easy, but I'm thinking I might go to the effort of making one of these for myself. Keep you engaged. Who are you gonna marry? Oh, look, there's so many options. Like, at least one option. It's definitely not approval. I do not need external... No, external validation is not what I need. Polished Cryptid with a nice little coffee lurk. Is that a coffee? Is that a Nebula coffee lurk emote? It sure looks like it. Either way, I appreciate your lurking. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy. Your brain immediately came in with the Ghostbusters, but somehow I don't think that feels right. That's true. Delta Waves, you have redeemed Wild Magic, which is a solid reminder. I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of Wild Magic this stream. I will do yours, and I will do, if we only get one or two, I will do yours. But I'm not going to be doing a lot of them this stream, because I have a goal for this stream. And I'm trying not to procrastinate too much. It is a poorly drawn Nebula Coffee Lurk emote made by you. It's made by you, and it is identifiably a Nebula Coffee Lurk emote. So, as far as I'm concerned, Polished Cryptid, you've done amazingly. There's nothing poorly drawn there. It is expertly drawn. Professionally so. Ghostbusters drive past siren blaring, dragging cans and streamers, dear lord. Maybe worth turning it off if you want to stay on task. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is, after we'll do this one, because you know, you redeemed it before I had a chance to remember to do that myself. So I'm gonna do yours. Oh, we still have the regular trans background on this one, apparently? Okay. Well, that's not ideal. Somehow I always forget about Magic Surge. Always forget about it. There we go. That's a little better, isn't it? So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. It is Pride Month. Happy Pride, still. So we're still using the Heartbeat Dice Rainbow Sharp Edge set, their Kickstarter edition of these dice. And if you get another 8, like we got 2 back-to-back 8s yesterday, we're not going to be doing it. Just because you're already booked on several holidays, Delta Waves. I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't see that. Oh dear. All right. So the thing about natural ones is that chat has already decided what's happening next session. So we're not going to be doing natural. And that's okay. That's okay. We're not going to do natural one. We're not going to do what's happening next session. I'm going to quickly re-roll. We get a 6, which is Monstrous Matchmaker. I have to set you up with a monster of some kind. And you know what? There's a way I can do this that keeps it in line with Pathfinder game prep. Hags on an island it is. Oh, for sure. What we're going to do is I'm going to start pulling out my Pathfinder materials because I have the beginner box, the physical beginner box next to me. And what we're going to do is I'm going to pull out, there should be a monster appendix of some kind in the back of the GM's booklet. And I'm going to pick something from there. Oh, there are not a lot of options. Oh, there's a fair few options. You know what? I'm just going to roll the d20 again. I'm going to count that many monsters forward from the beginning, because I think there's maybe 30 monsters in here. 10. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Delta Waves. I'm not going to dwell too long on ceremony here. Because I have to take a look at what we've got here, and I have to be able to pass Pathfinder info. So, as everyone in chat can tell, you and Zelight Fury have been, going strong for a little while. I want to offer you something on the opposite side of the spectrum. You've got a lot of light in your life. How about a little darkness instead? How about a little something underground, something subterranean, something that loves shadow much more than it loves light? How about, in fact, something that doesn't like the light, something that shies away from the light? Not because I don't want you to get along, your new date and light, but because, sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of the other side. Pretty much the only information that is here is stat related. It's very sparse. I don't have a lot of lore to draw on here, and I do not know enough about the Pathfinder lore to riff on this any further. But the 10th creature in the Pathfinder beginner book, GM's handbook, what's it called? Creature section, happens to be the Drow Priestess. So you go ahead and you enjoy that date, and let me know how it goes. I'm going to go ahead and, before I continue, I'm going to go into our rewards queue. I'm going to turn off wild magic for the stream, because I'm realizing just from doing that, I don't want to be doing more wild magic this stream. Someone's going to have to remind me to turn it back on before next stream. But you know what? Life is a challenge. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, an innocent landmine is here. Hello, hello. little animal in the bushes there. Wonderful. Delightful. Uh, you already had a thing for playing Drow? Well, there you go. There you go. That should be fine then. What shouldn't be fine, or what will be at least interesting, is me running this goddamn Menace Under Otari, which is the beginner box adventure for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and it's what I'm going to be running on the weekend. It looks like it's relatively well laid out. It looks like it's relatively simple. It follows a flow. So it's area after area after area for the most part, with only a few forks changing things up. And it looks like the idea is that each new section of the adventure, which is a dungeon crawl, to be clear, introduces a new element of gameplay for people to come to grips with. Yeah, that's pretty much how it looks. So I've got a couple of plans. I've got a couple of ideas for today's stream. The plans are more or less as follows. We're going to start by reading through the adventure, and I'm going to start by making a note of what rules are introduced in each section of the adventure. The reason for me doing that rather is so that I can have the relevant rules ready and waiting when the players get up to that part. After we've done that, I'm going to go through my core rulebook alongside the beginner and the beginner books, and I'm going to start bookmarking the rules pages that are going to be required for each of the different things that are being covered. Then I'm going to take a quick look at the pre-gen characters that I have, because I have a player party of more than 4 people. I can't just use the pre-gens that come in the box. So I have acquired from Paizo's website for free an entire, what is it? It's a level 1 pre-generated character for every class, more or less. So there's Barbarian, Wizard, Witch, Alchemist, Ranger, Swashbuckler, Oracle, Champion, Monk, Investigator, Rogue, Druid, Bard, Cleric, Sorcerer, and Fighter. Which means I should be able to cover them all, because we've got a Cleric, we've got a Champion, we've got a Paladin, we've got a Monk, we've got a Sorcerer, and we do have a Wizard in our main party. So that will be the pre-gens that I use. Does that sound about right for everybody? Does that sound like something that we can accomplish? It's entirely likely that we get halfway through this stream and I go, my head's not here. I'm gonna have to move on. But we're gonna give it a red hot go. I'm gonna see what we can do. I really do need to get this prep done. If I'm not prepped and ready to go come Sunday, I don't know what I'm going to do. So we'll see how we go. We're gonna start with running this adventure. That's the appropriate place to start. So I've purchased all of these PDFs from Paizo directly. So these are all, well, I got them from a humble bundle, to be clear, but they are attached to my Paizo. So there's nothing pirated that you're about to see. But let's take a look. What have we got? We've got running the adventure. And I'm going to be skim reading and summarizing as we go, because we don't need to read word for word. The idea that each section of the adventure teaches new concepts as you need them is, I think, really fun. It's a good way to progressively learn the rules of a game. It does mean that because my players are used to fantasy D20 games, like they've played D&D before, some of them have played things like Fantasycraft before, we're going to probably get really quickly through the first sections, and then as we get to the very nitty-gritty of Pathfinder specifically, that's when we'll start to slow down. It's a series of areas to explore, challenges to face. It's 2 levels of dungeon. Indeed, I have the map for the dungeon. So this is level 1, where the adventure starts here, from memory, down here in this sort of little basement cellar area. And then there is a second layer, which I believe, yeah, there's a set of stairs here. And those stairs eventually, I think, lead down to here. So it's a two-layer dungeon. Place the map in the center of the table with the first level face up. It's okay if they can see the entire map. They won't know what's in each room until they explore it. Yep, fair enough. Each player should choose a cardboard pawn to represent their hero. That's not going to be happening. I have miniatures, and I think it makes sense for the party to just use miniatures that I already have. It means I don't have to cut out all of the the cardboard pawns. I'm hoping that I'll have miniatures for all of the monsters because I like miniatures. They're just fun. Each entry begins with a brief introduction, followed by green text to read aloud. It's likely they'll have questions and try actions that aren't covered by the rules in this book. As the GM, you get to make up the answers and decide what happens, but always try to be fair. And remember that the goal of the game is to have a fun time. Okay. If they get stuck or confused, you can give them hints or ideas by asking questions like, do you want to open the door? Or who wants to look for hidden treasure? Yep. We've got some green text to start off with. That looks like the adventure hook. This art is the person who gives the adventure, like the person who gives the information to the party. Because they own a fishery and there is things eating fish down there. So what do we have? Okay. Encounter 1, hungry rats. We have giant rats. Is the very first thing that we have is giant rats. The rest of the monsters' stats are... this is going to be interesting, actually. Because this is something that I generally... when I'm running things that I have PDFs for, and I also have the physical copy for, this is something that I genuinely do. So when there's a page reference in the PDF that I want to check out, I'll actually pull it up in the physical copy first. So for instance, right now I'm looking at the giant rat stats, which despite being listed as a giant rat, they're a small creature. Creature of level -1. So they are clearly they are going to be very easy to go through. Some nice art though. Look at that art. Some nice giant rat art, if you ask me. Where does a regular rat fall? I think a regular rat is tiny. A regular rat is usually a tiny creature. Okay, I don't need anything much from there for this. So, area 1, giant rats. Can I zoom? Oop. I'm gonna zoom my notes app here. There you go. Now you should be able to read it as well. So we've got rolling initiative, which is D20 plus perception as a default in Pathfinder, as I've learned. On its turn, each rat moves towards a different hero and attacks. Strike action for attack. I'm gonna need to have that. If a hero falls unconscious, the rat moves to the next nearest target and attacks. That's good. The rats aren't interested in curb stomping the players. That's good. And then after combat, is there any rules here? No. So those are the rules that I need in Area 1. Simple. We've got Area 2. Oh, we've got a combat guide. That's useful. So that gives us the basic understanding of combat. That will be good. Area 2. Drop into darkness. So it looks like it's skill checks is what we're learning in here. So we're looking at athletics skill / DCs. We're looking at, so I'm looking for keywords here. So the skill check section of Area 2 mentions circumstance bonuses for getting assistance from players. So I'm going to write that down. As well as the crit success failure rules there. We've also got light. Not user light fury, lighting conditions. So it sounds like dark vision is going to come up here. As well as torches. Page 63, Hero's Handbook for that. I will not have you soon. To be clear, I will not have you soon. You will be in Sydney soon, and that will be delightful. Okay, cool. Area 3, Spider's Web. Seeing some more keywords. Difficult terrain is clearly coming up. Saving throws. Conditions come up here as well. What's that? Looks like initiative stealth becomes a listed option here in Area 3. Good news, folks. Femboy is trending again. Oh, beautiful. Love that. I love that for femboys. In this P-Day month, wow, 10 out of 10. I'm a huge fan of the femboys. Range strikes. There's more experience point stuff here. That looks like more. I think there's not much more extra in there. The giant spider stats are going to be here. I'm just going to flick to that page, take a look at the stats for a giant spider, see what they are. A giant spider is a medium-sized animal, which is good. I have miniatures of a medium size for giant spiders. That works. Searching the spider's lair. So we'll have searching, exploring, which uses perception. There is an avoiding the threat is fun. Area 4. Barricade. What do we have in the barricade? More perception checks. Crafting thievery? Misspelling thievery casually, don't worry about me. That looks like it's about it. 5 is a crypt. Looks like we have undead. I love that, which means we have immunities. And resistances. And weaknesses. So that'll be fun for the players to discover. Skeletons and zombies at the same time. I have both of those as miniatures. Hell yeah. Animal handling. Wait, that's for a barricade. Oh. I'm not sure how you would like me to pronounce your username there, but I'm assuming Beamer might be okay, or Beamers is okay. That is such a fucking phenomenal first time chat. Thank you so much for bringing this incredible energy to my chat tonight. Making chat just a little bit more bearable for all of us. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. It's lovely to have you here. Have you played Pathfinder before? Or is this, like me, is your first time? I'm not seeing a lot of extra rules that I need to know here, which is good. That is apparently just a picture of a really cool shield that's in this room. Love that. Okay, so we move on to Area 6. Forgotten Shrine. Beamer is fine. It's almost 3 a.m. here. You woke up and can't sleep, so you're wandering around the internet? Well, I'm glad that you made it to this delightful little corner of the internet. It is genuinely nice to have you here. I hope that your 3 a.m. awakeness does not detract from whatever it is that you plan on doing with your day. Are you big into tabletop role-playing games, or is this a new curiosity for you? I mean, stream video is frozen for me, so I only have chat and your delightful voice to entertain me. Oh no. Oh no, not the stream video. You might need to muck around a little bit there, Zalight Fury. I've just tabbed over. Stream video looks to be playing fine to me. It's very homophobic, of course. Middle of a 4-day weekend, so you should be good with a nap or two later today. Well done. 4-day weekend. Mad respect. Love that for you. Love a 4-day weekend. I could go a 4-day weekend. I should just give myself a 4-day weekend one of these days. Religion check. Detect magic gets mentioned here, so we'll see what happens here. There's some saving throws. Some benefits. Not much more than that. Area 7. Abandoned storeroom. First of all, kobolds. We have my first experience with Pathfinder kobolds, which I love. And flanking. Which, of course, kobolds are like that. Of course there's flanking. I'm multitasking, listening to the stream while playing The Sims and world building in your head. Oh, fantastic! I used to love The Sims. I don't remember what. No, I remember exactly why I stopped. It was not being able to get Origin to work during the era of The Sims 3. That's why I stopped playing The Sims. But I loved The Sims. Deep into TTRPGs, mostly Pathfinder, Starfinder for now, but you started with 3.5 D&D. Oh, fantastic! Well, I'm very new to Pathfinder. This is the second edition of Pathfinder. I have played some 3.5 D&D, but I admittedly have had a lot more experience with 4th and 5th edition. Mostly 5th edition. And I came to fantasy RPGs by way of sci-fi and cyberpunk. So, Shadowrun, Cyberpunk, Eclipse Phase, and some Savage Worlds is sort of where I got my start in RPGs. 2 teens are trying to save the family home after their mother, who I thought was their sister, moved out to live in a cottage with her new love. Oh, Myanmar. Oh my. That is some wild stuff. Oh, what else have we got here? We've got, I can see flanking, I can see flat-footed, which is a condition. I remember that much. But I'm gonna have to just make a note of it there as being specific. Locked storage devices. I'm gonna add that to the list. Something for the party to take a look at. A magic weapon. There's a +1 short sword in this adventure. Isn't that neat? Also, I love the kobold art. I love the kobold art so much. To that extent, hang on a second. What I can do is I just want you to know, chat, because I'm looking at a kobold right now. I'm still unreasonably upset that I don't own one of these life-size foam replica kobolds that Paizo sells for like $600 US. Because I would be so unreasonably happy if I had one of these. If I owned one of these, it would like live in the corner of my room. I would change my streaming setup so that it was always visible. I'd like give them a little torch or something that they can hang off the end of their spear. I would be so happy. I would be the happiest girl. Kobolds enjoy their traps. They do. It doesn't say there's any traps in here that I can see. They do have sneak attack. So we'll take a look at that later. Area 8. Oh, trap hallway. Here are the traps. So traps, perception, thievery, because it looks like it's perception checks to see and thievery to disable, which makes sense. Ninja kobolds when? Ninja kobolds when the dev fund is full. I can see that the mod bot has just put in a link to directly tipping me. Part of the reason why I'm streaming tonight, and part of the reason why I stream many nights, is that as I just casually move my own windows around, streaming gives me a bit of extra income that I can use to fund my game development as well as my general gaming hobby life. And at the moment, I've got a goal of $250 with which to pay writers for a new edition of Cybercrack Soy Runners. We just released the quick and dirty basic rules yesterday, and I'm looking at full steam ahead on the release of the full whole dang noodle bar edition. My aim is for the end of the year. I'm not going to promise that because there's a lot of writing to be done and a lot of art to be done. It looks like this is just trap in Area 8, which is fair enough. The hallway. Area 9, though, is a gold puzzle. Okay. Puzzles, obviously, is what we've got. It looks like they can make a religion skill check to understand what the god is. It's a great revision of the original, the quick and dirty edition that is. I'm glad you think so. Thank you very much. If you've already had a chance to read and review the quick and dirty edition, might I recommend that you head back on over to the game page on itch.io and leave a review. Okay, so there's a puzzle, specific puzzle, read and understand. I'm going to leave myself that note for a little bit later. Okay, it gives me a solution to the puzzle. That's good. And then we have Area 10, Abadar's Vault. Looks like this is a room with some controls. It has a chest. There is a scroll in there. There is a control mechanism. Ooh. Interesting. So they actually have the ability to turn on and off a trap in here. There's no new rules that I can see. There's no new rules that I can see in here. In this section, which fair enough. Area 11. Kobolds plus traps. Ooh, Kobold Trap Master. That's a fun little mini to have. Deadly traps. Oh, okay. So this room has traps that can affect the kobolds as well as the players. Little spear trap, and the kobolds have their own traps. There's a kobold fight, and I'm not seeing it again. I'm not seeing any new rules. We're looking at new stat blocks here, and I guess the intermingling of all of the rules that we've learned in our previous sections, but nothing new specifically. And then the players can keep going into the next areas of the dungeon. But they should be allowed to rest, it says. That's good. And then we end up in the new level. I'm not expecting us to get all the way through the first level in our first encounter, so... I'm definitely not seeing... Oh, no, again, never mind. I'm seeing some new... There are some new rules, so I will have to start up... ... Area 14, Elements of Chaos. So I'll have to start writing things down there. Hello, Maeve of Swords. It's lovely to see you in here. How are you doing? And Beelzebub, you're not dead! Good job. I'm proud of you. I'm very, very, very proud of you. Is it me or is Pixel sound low? Is Pixel sound low? Am I low? Am I too low? Am I not talking enough? I can talk louder. I'm looking at my side of things. If I increase my volume any more, I'm gonna be hitting the top of my levels. So I'm probably not gonna do that if I can get away with it. You just had to turn down your other sound. That would make sense. Tiny humans are hard to deal with, but doing very well. I'm glad the tiny humans are doing well, Beelzebub. I'm glad to hear that. No, Delta Waves, the demon is not rising. It's just Bezel. Just everybody's favorite. The only demons that are rising were already here long before Beelzebub arrived. Have I missed anything else in chat? I'm not sure what the answer is 42 was specifically in reference to, but I tend to agree. If I've learned anything about being an adventurer, it's that kobolds are just minions that haven't been beaten into recruited yet. I tend to prefer not beating kobolds into submission. At least not without having negotiated that with the kobolds first. But then again, the kobolds that I tend to run in games are very sneaky. They border on absolutely out of the fucking... just out of their goddamn minds all of the time. All the way up to they are the smartest people in the room. They've even got the dragon red. But either way, very, very clever. Zolite Fury, boarding has started. You got a dip? Well, enjoy your flight, and looking forward to seeing you at some point in the next week. I hope your flight goes well and smooth, and see you in Sydney. 42 is indeed the answer to life, the universe, and everything. I'm just not sure where I made reference to that myself in stream. But who knows? All kinds of things happen. Pixel, do you prime your minis black, white, or black with a zenithal highlight? So it depends on the miniature. Some of them I prime black, some of them I prime white. Some of them I've been priming with Xandri dust recently. I've been doing a whole lot of crab people, and I found that the speed paints I'm using work really well over as just a pure Xandri dust prime, which is kind of a dark tan brown for people who aren't familiar. One of my favorite ways to prime miniatures at the moment, something I'm playing around with, is... What is the word, Pixel? Come on. It's right here. It's on the tip of our tongue. Chop. Something chop. Slap chop. So it's a black prime, and then a grey dry brush all over, and then a slightly lighter white dry brush all over. And I've been painting miniatures based on that using speed paints. I have been struggling a lot with getting consistently good results doing that, because not all miniatures are made equal. But I think that would work really well for doing like a full army of miniatures for something like Warhammer. I don't really have any more details to go on based on that. How do you prime your miniatures? You might have 50 guardsmen for me. Why would you have 50 guardsmen for me? That's a lot of guardsmen. I don't think I need that many guardsmen. Crab people, crab people. I think the thing that I've heard about crab people is that they look like crab and they taste like people. You don't. You have 200. Dear Lord. You don't need... First of all, you don't need that many guardsmen. I'll just say that for free. You just don't need that many guardsmen at all. That said, the fact that you say "for me" sounds horrifying. And I'm getting entirely distracted from my goal of the stream. Which is not your fault. That's entirely my fault. You thought guardsmen was... Guardsmen are definitely squishy. I mean, I'm playing a guardsman in kill team. I play a veteran guard kill team, which has 14 individual units at its strongest, and each of them have 7 wounds each, compared to a Space Marine which has 14 wounds each. So they are definitely squishy. I think they're some of the squishiest models. So you have 1,500 Marines. Is this epic? Are these all epic scale? Or are we talking full Warhammer tabletop scale? Because chat, there's like an epic scale of Warhammer where the models are like a centimeter tall. Epic scale. Oh, thank gods. Dear Lord, that would have been way too much. What you guarding with all those men? Oh, you know. Fellas, is it gay to guard men? Okay, so what do we have? Elements of chaos. Smoke / concealed. And persistent damage. End of turn. So that's a new rule that we've got to deal with. There's some detect magic. We've already got that written down. We have the Zul'Gath Cave. What the fuck is a Zul'Gath? Smelly reptilian humanoids. So they'll be right at the back here, I guess. Zul'Gath warriors. Medium lizardy humanoids. I can probably just use lizard folk miniatures for those. You're thinking of printing a liter of Tyranids. Do it. Is it gay to have advanced targeting optics? What do you need those for? To scope out butts? I mean, yes. That's why I have my advanced targeting optics. Because looking at cute butts is an excellent thing to do. Is that a status effect that I'm seeing? I'm seeing status penalty, and I've not seen status penalty anywhere else so far, so I'm gonna write it down. Oh, sorry, that's not Area 14. Area 15, Zul'Gath Cave, has the status penalty, so I'll add that there. Surprised Zul'Gaths. Oh, okay, it's just describing... Okay, that makes sense, that makes sense. Please don't liquefy the Tyranids. Please don't drink a liter of Tyranids, by which I mean please don't drink a liter of resin. If you do, I will feel compelled to go and get my resin to drink as well. After the fight, passage into darkness. Mermaid fountain. Ooh. Area 16. Area 16, Mage Fountain, has the concept of hardness. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that, I suppose. And then we have a Kobold Warren for Area 17. Delta Waves, do not threaten to tell on people to their partners in my chat. There's no need for that. We're all drinking Tyranids here, okay? There's nothing wrong with it. Oop. One moment, chat. Chat, one moment. I think actually... Chat, what I'm gonna do real quick is I have had my presence has been requested elsewhere in my home. It shouldn't take too long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw up a quick ad break. We're gonna say a quick BRB. So an ad will run. I will be gone for just a moment. When I come back, we'll continue with Area 17, the Kobold Warren of Menace Under Otari. Shouldn't take too long. Don't be alarmed. I will be right back. And take care of each other while I'm gone. I have a normal range of words that I say about now, but they've all left me. And now I'm leaving you for a moment. Oh dear. It is cold in my house, chat, and chat's gone from the stream. Sure. Of course it is. Why would we get to have nice things like the stream chat existing? Is it in any of these views? Nope, it's not. Thank you, Streamlabs. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. What did I miss, chat? Ooh, what did I miss? Kobolds throwing oil flasks and alchemist fire? I've done not with kobolds, I've done it with goblins. It's a good idea, Labat. Tyranids and crumpets. New RPG idea? When the warlock with the extended range ability for Eldritch Blast and has Spell Sniper decides to snipe enemies from dubious ranges, advanced targeting optics become quite useful indeed. I've been thinking about a picnic, but it's too cold. It is cold. It's so cold. I don't like it. It's cold. I'm cold. I should get a blanket and bring it over to my chair. I do have a freshly washed blanket. I might bring it over. Yeah, we're drinking Tyranids. I refuse to elaborate. Fog spell, switching with target dummies and retreating. Oh, Maeve of Swords, you're under 3 blankets and a cat and still cold? I would definitely consider getting an extra blanket. I would like it. Fuck, I should. You know, chat. What am I doing? I'm getting a blanket. Getting a blanket, chat. Happening. What are we doing? There's no way I'm not rugging up right now on stream. There we go. That it is cold, and seeing other people tell me that they're cold has put me over the edge. Here I am. I would agree with Beelzebub, obtain more cat. But yes, I was right. Maeve has already explained the kitty situation. If you don't have your own fog spell, store-bought smoke bomb is fine. Beelzebub took 7 rounds for them to remember dispel magic is a thing. Clears fog, reveals the dummies. They charge in. 10-foot pit trap in front of dummies. Oh, mwah. Beautiful. Oh, that is amazing. Ooh. Yeah, that feels slightly better. Snug pixel. Yeah, I'm getting nice and snug. Next step is, if I'm still feeling cold in like 10 minutes, I'm gonna go and bring a Blaha over here. Because every time I've had one of those over for stream, it's been good. Long Island Iced Tyranids. I could go a Long Island Iced Tyranid. What would that cocktail look like? Like, it would need to have some outlandish colors, right? Like, you couldn't just do a Long Island iced tea and say that's a Tyranid. Like, no, you would need to be creative with the liquors and mixes you use. It would have an eyeball as a martini olive. I mean, no, not necessarily, but we could definitely make that work. Okay, where were we? Right. Kobold Warren. That's where we were up to. We were up to the Kobold Warren. Mold earth and shape water equals the kingdom's greatest moat wizard. Ooh. Looks like it has veins. Tastes fantastic. Yeah, could you serve it in a glass that has veins? Possibly. Kobold fight. Kobold fight. Kobold fight. Kobolds will flank. Unconventional tactic. Bed cover. A kobold in one of the sleeping changes can spend one action to pull a sleeping mat off the floor and hide behind it. Food fight. A kobold adjacent to the table can spend an action to pick up a scrap of rotting meat and throw it at a hero. Oil attack. 3 jars of slippery oil in the chest between 2 of the sleeping alcoves. Oh, amazing. When only 1 kobold remains, he immediately drops his weapon and surrenders, begging and groveling for his life. They can offer the kobold gold for secrets. The kobold says that following about their warren's boss. Boss Zolgren is the big leader of the mighty kobolds, and she has powerful magics to roast you alive. Oh, amazing. Oh, and there's a dragon. Oh, hell yeah, there's a dragon. And this is where they level up. The party don't get out of level 1 until now? There's a lot happening. It needs jelly tentacles. We can make that happen. Tentacle molds plus jelly is totally doable. I can test the spot for greatest moat wizard. Mirage Arcane plus School of Illusion. Oof. Solid choice, solid choice. You gotta go, Beelzebub? Dishes then early morning? That is fair. Look, it has been lovely to have you here while you have been here. I hope that your morning is not too early, and I hope that your day treats you well tomorrow. Say hello to the bub and the partner. And I don't remember if you have cats, but if you do, say hello to the cats as well. I'm not seeing any new rules here. Like the I guess I'll remind myself that there's unconventional tactics listed, so we can use those. And there's Dragon Keeper. Looks like there is a kobold boss. So there is a named kobold boss that we have to deal with. And also there is a dragon. Two cats, 2 brain cells, both in one cat, as the prophecy foretold. Say hello to them both. Give an extra couple of pats to the cat with no brain cells. I do what I want. Oh, Beelzebub. A joy as always. So no new rules. No new rules. But there is a mushroom grotto coming up. And this is where the dragon fight is. Breath weapons, special attacks. Just has it has a specific ability. That's good. And there's a tunnel to the surface. And then we wrap up the adventure. I mean, that's nice. So that's everything I'm going to need to know in terms of when rules are introduced in the adventure. And that's a pretty well laid out adventure. Oh, Beelzebub, you have redeemed stretch on your way out. How dare you? I was getting nice and cozy. Now I have to stretch. That is atrocious and terrible of you. How dare you? You are the worst. You are the worst. But also thank you. Oh, okay, there we go. I'm gonna call that good, because if I have to get up and stretch, then I have to get less cozy, and I refuse to do that on stream. I refuse to get uncozy right now. These are my cozy vibe times. Okay. What is going on, chat? What is going on next? What do we do next? I mean, I guess next we have the game mastering section of the book, which is, I think, a little more general. It's not going to be specific prep. You do get things like secret checks are a nice thing that I know. So there are action in Pathfinder, which is interesting to me. There are actions that have a trait called secret, and for those, the GM makes the roll behind their screen, or somewhere the players can't see. So the GM is making the roll, not the players, rather than what tends to happen in games like D&D, where the rules kind of specify that the players don't get to find out if they've succeeded or failed, but they still get to roll the dice. I don't know if I like the concept of secret checks so much. I'd much rather the players just get a chance to roll. And if they roll really high and still don't learn anything, then that tells them something about what they're trying to discover. So, exploration. We measure time in 10-minute intervals during exploration. This is their regular moving around. They have specific activities: avoid, notice, defend, detect magic, hustle, investigate, scout, search, sense direction, and track. And these include page 62 of the Hero's Handbook. So I suppose I should open the Hero's Handbook from the beginner box as well. Hero's Handbook. Page 62, I think it was? Yep, exploration activities. So here are the things they can do. Oop. There we go. So avoid notice is moving at half speed and making a stealth check. Defending is moving at half speed with your shield raised, giving you a circumstance bonus to AC. Detect magic, concentrate. You cast detect magic at regular intervals, moving at half your travel speed. Hustle. Multiply your constitution modifier to 10 to figure out how many minutes you can move at double your travel speed. Okay, fair enough. Investigate, concentrate. Half speed and using recall knowledge to discover clues about the things that you see. Scout, outside the group, moving at half speed while looking for danger. +1 circumstance bonus to initiative at the next encounter. Search, concentrate, which is seeking. Sense direction to orient yourself in the wild, or track. Okay, so that's exploration activities. Is there information in here about seeking and hiding and the like? Rolling checks, light and darkness, combat, actions, damage, movement, durations, hit points and dying. And then we've got conditions and leveling up, so no, I don't think we do. Improvising new activities is doable, sure. Environments and hazards exist. Rolling initiative. Character placement. Not really. Ah, here we go. Surprise attack from hiding. As soon as she says this is her plan, call for initiative, using stealth for initiative for that character. So that's an interesting one. Thank you very much for the follow, XWXNTED Sin. A wanted sin? If I'm filling in a blank there, a wanted sin? I'm going to call you Sin for the moment. Thank you very much, Sin, for the follow. It's nice to have you here. Um, where was I? Yeah, okay, so... And it's something I'm learning about how Pathfinder Initiative works, which is that it is theoretically not always in your best interest to be trying to sneak at the start of a combat. Like if the aim of the game for you is to get into combat before your enemies, and you're rolling stealth, and stealth isn't great for you, then I'm not entirely sure what the benefit is there. It almost seems to disincentivize sneaking for anyone except rogues. But I reserve the right to learn otherwise. I always reserve the right to learn otherwise. Sin, lol, I need to change my name. Fair enough. Look, it's lovely to have you here in the stream, Sin. I appreciate you being here. How are you doing? What brings you our neck of the woods these days? Monster actions, ending encounters, bypassed encounters, downtime. These things exist. I don't care much for experience points. I probably won't be using them because of who I am as a person. Party size and level is not going to be particularly important to me either. Not for this session. Not for this prep session. Because this is just the beginner box. DCs are something I'm going to have to get my head around. Trying to wrap my head around DCs as a GM for Pathfinder is going to be interesting, because the DCs are different. The simple DCs for what level of proficiency you need is fine. Like, that makes sense to me. And there's level-based DCs. So there's levels of a subject, and then a difficulty level that you need for that. And then DC adjustments make. No, I know this is level 1 play, so I know the DCs being between 10 and 20 makes sense. But I know that Pathfinder is going to get pretty quickly up there. Yeah, you're good. Just started your first book with a friend group, so learning as you go, you're a super noob. Look, I'm a noob at Pathfinder. I am a veteran GM of other systems, but I'm new to Pathfinder. And I love it when there are newbies. I love to learn. I love to teach. So settle in. Welcome. We are preparing for my first time GMing Pathfinder specifically in less than a week. By reading through this is the GM's guide from the Pathfinder 2nd edition beginner box. And we're just scrolling past some of this is like generic Pathfinder encounter building for not the beginner box, so I'm kind of skipping through it. But it does look like a really good introduction to GMing Pathfinder, you know, the way that Pathfinder does building challenges. It's very different to the way that D&D does it. Got some rewards down here, so there's information about treasure and the like back here. Got our basic environments, kinds of sights and sounds. This is all nice to have if you're building a campaign. Not particularly if you're prepping for the beginner box adventure. And we have, yeah, it looks like we at that point we move on to magic items and weapons in the back, like the basic rules equivalent of those things, and then we've got creatures. Is this creatures now? Are we in creatures? Yeah, we're in creatures now. So this is actually going to be useful, because this is how you read it. So it's going to give us an alignment, a size, and any other traits for each creature. The perception comes as a box, including any special senses that they have. Also, as a line. Pathfinder stat blocks are nice and condensed compared to 5th edition, I've found. The skills and ability modifiers. armor class and saving throws, its hit points, as well as anything that affect hit points or healing. And then how far they move with a stride action, followed by any other speed or movement abilities. Its melee strike for listing weapons and damage amounts, its ranged strikes and damage amounts, and any spells that it has. There's some recall knowledge for identifying creatures, which is nice. Using specific skills to identify creatures with different traits, which I've always enjoyed. I like that it's explicit in Pathfinder in this way, and that there are a series of different roles. Like humanoids, of course you'd be rolling society because that's how humans work. Well, humanoids at least. You know, fays, nature, oozes, and aberrations are occultism. Undead is religion. Like, I like that those different skills are being applied here. And then, yeah, we've got our generic stat blocks and so... Well, not generic, but we've got our stat blocks and so on. So we've got things like Construct as a trait. Mindless as a trait. Beast is a trait. These traits are, from my understanding, they combine with spells in specific ways. So there's spells in, this is the player's handbook, I believe. There's spells somewhere in here. Inside of each character. If I go to 20 to look at the cleric stuff, take a look at the cleric spells. Yeah, Disrupt Undead. So you lance an undead creature. So if a creature has the undead trait, it's undead. I was hoping it would say that specifically. Disrupting weapons. Yeah, I was hoping that there would be slightly more in the way of specific traits being mentioned. Being called out, but you know what? It's okay. I know that it, like, I know for a fact that that exists. I'm aware of how that works. So I'm gonna know what I know and I'm gonna move on. I'm sorry I couldn't find a specific example, but the basic rules are the basic rules for a reason, I guess. There's not going to be much more here. Ooh, bugbears in Pathfinder are cute. Bugbears look much more like goblinoids, which they are in D&D as well as Pathfinder. But the Pathfinder bugbears look way more goblinoid than bugbears do in 5th edition D&D. I really like that art. That's beautiful art. Okay. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to continue my prep by going back through each area of this dungeon and making a precise list of all the creatures that I'm going to need, all of the different tokens that I'm going to need, the miniatures. So area 1, I need 4 giant rats. Area 2, I don't need any models. Area 3, I need, is it just 1 spider? It's 1 giant spider. Giant rats are small, by the way. Small creatures, and the giant spider we checked is a medium creature. We don't need any for the barricade. For area 5, I need 4 skeleton guards, 1 zombie shambler, which are all medium creatures. Forgotten Shrine doesn't have any models. For area 7, I'm going to need 4 Kobold Warriors. Gold puzzle. The puzzle rooms didn't have any creatures in them. For area 11, I know I'm going to need multiple. 3 Kobold Warriors and a Trapmaster. One Kobold Trapmaster to be specific. On the second level, we're going to need... What area is this? Area 12. 2 Kobold Scouts. A Cinder Rat. Elemental Cinder Rat. In a... Was that 13 or 14? A14 Elemental Rat. I don't know how I'm going to do an Elemental Rat as a miniature. I don't have any unpainted rats, so... I don't have any unpainted rats, so I can't paint one fresh. And I don't think I'd have the time to paint one fresh with everything that I have planned this. Maybe I can 3D print a rat between now and then. I do have resin. I do have my 3D printer. I could maybe I could 3D print an elemental rat. Maybe. If I 3D print one with the resin I have, give it a quick white prime, just go over it with some genuinely just go over it with some contrast orange. Maybe texture on some lighter colors. Make it look like it's on fire. I could probably do that, but I don't think there's much of a need for it. I could probably just use a regular rat model. In A15, the Zul'Gath Warriors. They were the reptilian creatures, so I'm going to put 3 lizard folk down. Mermaid Fountain didn't have any creatures. A17 is the Kobold Warren, and in here there are 6 Kobold Warriors. The Dragon Keeper, A18, has 2 Kobold Scouts, 1 Kobold Boss, and then there is the Dragon one in A19, which is just a Green Dragon Wormling. What size is a Green Dragon Wormling in Pathfinder? Let's find out. It's not that, is it? No, that's an orc. I guess means I've gone past the dragon. Aww, Pugwampy Gremlin is a little doggo. They're little doggo people. Little gremlins. I love them so much, chat. They're not in the adventure, though. I love them. Some more goblins, ghouls, elementals. Ooh, elemental brine shark. Hello. Drow. Green dragon wormling. Medium-sized creature. Okay, I definitely have one of those. That's going to be fun. So those are the miniatures that I need, which realistically means that I need at most 4 giant rats, 1 giant spider, 4 skeletons, 1 zombie. There's a maximum of 6 kobold warriors, because that's the most that you see in a single room at any given time. There's only ever 2 kobold scouts. There's 3 lizard folk. One... Oh, sorry. Before I do the lizard folk, I'll put them in order. 1 kobold trapmaster. 1 kobold boss. And then the 1 green dragon wormling. Okay, some of these I can actually prepare for here. Because I have them. The models are here, so... Got my kobolds. Dragons. My lizard folk aren't here. Got kobolds, I've got dragons. Skeletons, zombies, rats, spiders, and the lizard folk are all already at my gaming venue, but we get to make some decisions about the kobolds that I'll be using, so that's always fun. What I'll do is I'll switch over to the dice cam and show you the minis that I'm... So first of all, Green Dragon Wormling, super easy. One of the first minis that I'm able to put my hands on very quickly. That is exactly a Green Dragon Wormling, a medium creature in Pathfinder. So we've got them. They're already there. Kobolds is where we're going to have some fun. Now, there's only 2 Kobold Scouts at a time. So I'm going to use these Kobold Rogues. Oop, oh dear, I've got some Kobold Rogue miniatures that are designed to be sneaky. I think that that would be kind of scouty, and I do actually have exactly 2 of them. So we'll drop those down. Those have been selected. 6 Kobold Warriors. That should be relatively easy to do. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? Is that numbers? 3, 6, 9, no, 10. I have 10. So I have 10 Kobold Warrior minis. They will need to go on appropriate bases. They're just kind of as they are. They're not on any round bases just yet, but I have plenty of round bases that they'll fit on. So there's the Kobold Warriors. Just dump them in there. For a Kobold Trap Master, I think I'll go with this hooded Kobold Sorcerer kind of figure. Because they are slightly different than my other Kobold Spellcaster, which is bigger and more ostentatious. That's the big one there. They've got a big stick. This Trap Master looks a little more sneaky beaky, so I'm going to use and honestly, I'm tempted to, because I start to run out of kobolds at this point. I have some more kobold. I have some more kobold warriors that I didn't take out of the box just now. I'll dump those in there. But yeah, I've run out of models for additional kobolds. In terms of bosses and the like. So these are the 2 that I have left that are unique enough that they could be bosses. So I'm going to use the one with the purple robe. I'm going to use them. As opposed to the Kobold Necromancer, who has a truly delightful skull on a stick, as well as a scroll that they've actually written on. There's actually writing on the scroll for the miniature. Don't know if it will focus very well. If I move it up closer, maybe. Yeah, I've actually put some little arcane sigilly scribbles on there. So those are all of the kobolds that I will need, as well as the dragon wormling. So I now have those ready to go. I said at the start of the stream, the beginner box is very good. It gives you 2D cardboard pop-out pawns and stands that you can put them in. for all of the creatures that are in the beginner box adventure, and then more. So if I pull out my maps and so on, and pull them out, you'll see there's so these are sheets of 2-dimensional pop-out tokens, and they're really, really well done. But I would much rather use actual miniatures, and because I am a games master of some repute, arguably, I happen to have all of the miniatures that I'm going to need for the adventure. I would show you the lizard folk, the skeletons, and the zombies, but I use them so frequently in my other games that I've actually left them in my locker at Exiles Gaming Club, where I run all of my games. So I can't do that, and I won't be doing that. So that's all of that prep done. If anyone was here at the start of the stream and heard me say out loud what my plan was for the day, in terms of what I was going to do, we've done a couple of things already. Did anyone remember at all what I said at the very beginning? Like, what my actual goals were? I know I had more to do, but it's escaping my mind what that actually is all of a sudden. I feel like I wrote it down, but I know I didn't write it down, is the unfortunate thing. Oh well. Look, let's just improvise. Oh! No, I know a thing that I was going to do. I'll need a moment to prepare it, so let's get out of the screen view. What I was going to do was pull up... I have a PDF of the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Game Masters screen. Yeah, here we go. So I have a copy of the Game Masters screen. Looks just like this. And I should be able to use that and some pens and some sticky tabs to annotate my copy of the core rules with the page references that I will need from the GM screen, because the GM screen says, for instance, it shows conditions are in the core book on page 618. Turns are on 468, basic actions are on 469, things like that. And I want to have those bookmarked in my physical copy of the rules, so that way I can open up to that page and then show my players, by passing the book around, what's going on. So we're gonna do that, because that's also game prep. So let's start with conditions. Pull out a tab. Pull out my very ultra micro pen. And we'll start going. So I've got COND dot for conditions. I need to go to page 618. Dear Lord. I think 618 is like in the appendices for the book. Oop. Sorry, microphone. Didn't mean to bump you there. It is. It's literally the first of the appendices. That's good. That's arguably where you want something like this to be. Quick references in the back of the... Let's put conditions down, just like that. And bang! Cond. Right there. Bottom of the page, back of the book. I need to get to conditions. Bang. Open. Done. Next up was turns, which means combat on page 468. It's 468 is titled Encounter Mode, which is honestly probably a much better description to have. So I'm going to put... It's encounter mode, but it's combat. That's what combat is. So I'm gonna call it combat. I'm gonna write combat. Because having combat as a tab just feels like it makes way more sense than having encounter mode, and probably a lot more legible. So let's go ahead and put combat as a tab there. Death and Dying is on page 459, which is back a little bit. Death and Dying. Surprisingly, is outlined before combat. Which I actually don't know if I agree with that as a decision, but that's the decision that's been made. Treating Wounds, on the other hand, is on page 249. In the section on classes? No, in the section on skills. Got a sticky tab for treat. Treat wounds. Sticky tab that. Terrain and cover, it looks like, is in the combat section. Ooh. Page 475. Yeah, we're still in the encounter section of the book here for sure. So I won't sticky tab those specifically. It's in the section on skills because I'm wounded is met with the reaction skill. You are absolutely correct, Maeve of Swords. You are 100% correct. Being told I'm wounded should only ever be met with skill issue. It is simply a difference in skill. Next page here. Skill actions, 233. $233? Yeah, 233. So this tab can be skills. Nope. That's atrocious handwriting, Pixel. Absolutely not. My handwriting is absolutely atrocious at the best of times, chat. I am cold. I am frazzled from game prep. These are not the best of times. The DCs I probably don't need the page references for. Specific skill DCs I probably don't need the page to be pre-tabbed for. Because they seem pretty well put together. Creature identification. We've already got DCs by level over here, and it's just giving us the skills used, so that doesn't have a page reference. Imagine being downed, couldn't be me. The Man with Two Hats, I regret to inform you that I have a very good memory for the times recently where you have gone down. Including moments of friendly fire in RPGs where you didn't go down but you should have. And also playing a game called, what is it, Revenant? Revenant of the Ashes, something like that, where you go down so many times, the game rewarded you with a new trait to put trait points into that explicitly makes it easier to pick you up by extending the timer on how long you can be downed before you die entirely. So to you, the Man with Two Hats, I say skill issue. Chat, you may not know, but the game also gives you a trait for if you are so often picking up your teammates, they want to make it easier for you. And because I constantly have to revive the Man with Two Hats for going down all the goddamn time, the game went, Ah, you're really interested in teamwork. I'm gonna make sure that you get the Reviver trait. Nah, that weren't me. I'm pretty sure that were you. Detecting creatures. 65. 465. Is detecting creatures here where we get to see things like sneak? Observed, hidden, undetected, unnoticed, concealed, invisible. Doesn't really. Oh, those are skill actions. So that's specific information about detecting creatures, but they're skill actions. Okay, I might leave those. I might leave those be then. These are just tables. I don't usually look at tables for that kind of thing. In which case, that's done. That's good. So I guess we go back up to our very top level tabs. Means a tab at the start of the classes section. Just one tab. Not a tab for each class, because this is a very big book. But we'll just add a touch of class. The CL having definitely not fallen off. There's a feat section, there's an equipment. Equipment section's probably a good one for me to have a tab for. Just because I don't know a lot about the equipment in Pathfinder. So let's grab a new tab. Equip. In there. That's probably all the tabbing we need to do there. Is there much else that I would need to tab? I don't think so. Honestly, that's probably a pretty good place to start. So we've got the classes section, skills, how to treat wounds, equipment, dying, combat, and the conditions appendix. Not a lot of tabs compared to my other books, but in fairness, it did take me a year and a half of playing D&D before I knew where to put all of those tabs, so I'm gonna leave that there. And now, we come to the exciting part of the evening. Where I open up a new tab. And we Google running Menace Under Otari, and we start taking a look at what we've got. Advice. Menace Under Otari's Pathfinder Beginner box on Start Playing Games, so someone's hosting that. There is a questions page on Paizo. There's a sound effects. Oh, Pathfinder has Menace Under Otari sound effects on Sirenscape. That's fun. Let's take a look. How long is it? It's short and simple. Both the 4-player groups I ran through it took a 4-hour session per floor, 2 floors in total, so around 8 hours. Okay. 3 3-hour sessions worth, so that's about 9 hours. 2 to 3 sessions, about 4 hours for each session. So I'm expecting it's going to take 2 or 3 sessions to get through it then. We've got 5 hours of session time lined up. Is it 5 hours? Yeah, I've got about 5 hours of session prep. 5 hours of session time booked, rather. Dear Lord, words are escaping me right now. Words are escaping me. We've got some advice. Yeah, here we go. The generic Reddit thread on tips and tricks. Be careful not to play too efficiently for the last fight. The dragon ended up critting our healer and tank in the first round. Okay, well, let's not do that. Some people seem to miss the fact that the text tells the GM to play the young green dragon as inexperienced and inefficient, only getting one person at a time with its breath. Okay, good. So we can TPK there, but we shouldn't. We should try not to, at least. Good to know. What's confusing about the Trap Master? She spends her first 3 turns setting the traps using her quick trap activity as the other kobolds engage, and then needles them with her spear at range to draw them into melee at the stairs, so they might step on the traps. The room is dark, so unless they have line of sight, dark vision, or light, they wouldn't see them. If they could see her, they'd know what she was doing and where. They wouldn't be able to see the trap once it's set, but they would know where it was set and be able to alert allies. People would hear her doing something. Yep, okay, that seems pretty... Okay, so we're going to pay a little close attention to the Trap Master on the day to make sure that I know where their traps are and that my players have a chance to notice them. That's fine by me. These are the Pathfinder... This is the Paizo forums. Okay, that seemed pretty self-explanatory to me. Sorry, they're talking about what the deal is with having the players activate a trap in room 10 that would help them in room 11. How would they know? What would make them do that? Things like that. I think that this GM has a pretty good solution to that, which is them... what's the word? Yeah, setting the trap, but no one was aware of exactly what the trap was, and they acted as a result cautiously, and the kobolds didn't. And then the enemies in room 11... Right, yeah, just some generic information about making sure that those enemies are specific. Well, making sure that those enemies are specifically posed not as the end of the adventure, but as the start of something more significant. That's fair enough. Hey, Nightcur! Can't say long, but dropping by to say hi. It is lovely to see you. Welcome to chat. We're just doing some... at this stage, it definitely feels like last-minute Pathfinder prep for Menace Under Otari. It is lovely to see you here. I am so sorry I wasn't able to drop in to Supernova over the weekend. I was really looking forward to it, and then unfortunately cash flow issues affected my ability to grab tickets. So I was stuck at home all day on Sunday, just cleaning and organizing and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. How did it go? I hope it was a really good weekend for you. I saw a lot of little plushy eggs on my Instagram feed, so I'm assuming it was quite fun. How and why you should take another what? There's not a lot of extra links here that I think are going to be worth watching, or worth opening. That's okay, prob's better on the wallet. Oh, 100% better on the wallet. 100% it's better on my wallet. They sold out? They sold out! Oh, phenomenal! That's fantastic! I'm so happy for you. Kobolds fight to the death, retreat deeper into the, some retreat deeper into the cave. None of my players had dark vision, and one had low light vision, so the Trapmaster could shrink around in the darkness until they got close. Okay. Party befriended a kobold, so they had a little social encounter, which ended in violence, of course. Make sure the caster moves around, or else a fighter might be able to get close an attack of opportunity every spell cast. Ooh. That would be rough. Actually, that's a good point. Because the pre-gens in the beginner box has a fighter. And I want to see where its attack of opportunity is. Does it have an attack of opportunity? Yeah, attack of opportunity. If a creature you can reach with a melee attack makes a ranged attack, uses an action with the manipulate or move trait, or leaves a square on its turn, you can use your reaction to make a melee strike against that creature. If your attack is a critical hit and the foe was using an action with the manipulate trait, their action doesn't have any effect. And like from memory, some spell casting counts as having the manipulate trait. The spell's going to be here? No, they would be in the hero's handbook. Yeah, look, so some spells like Dispel Magic have the manipulate trait. Remove Fear does, Heal does. I think they all have the manipulate trait. Yeah, it looks like they all have the manipulate trait, so you can absolutely you can attack of opportunity a caster into not casting. This is wild. I love that. It's interesting hearing about the similarities between D&D and Pathfinder. It is. I'm not as confused as I thought I would be, given everything I've heard about Pathfinder being a relatively complicated system. But it is definitely, I can see the bones of a much larger creature lurking beneath the beginner box. And they are still very similar. I mean, you can definitely tell that they both have a common origin. That much is very, very obvious. In a really fun way. Worried about the dragon fight, I gave the party a crystal whistle that when blown shattered and gave the dragon stunned 2 for D4 rounds. They definitely needed it because none of them saved the breath attack. Oof. Some extra materials were handed out, which is fun. I simply had the Kobold Trapper already have snares on the ground before the fight began, keeping them hidden and away from the wall spike trap in the room. Okay. I probably wouldn't do that. I'm going to try and run it as is, where the Trapper is like hurriedly running around laying traps. Cool. Alright, I think that's about all the prep I'm going to be able to do in one night. And honestly, we are pushing on 2 hours, which is about as long as I tend to spend on any given night doing game prep. So it might be time for us to raid out. It didn't need to be a long stream tonight. I just needed the external motivation and accountability to actually get this prep done. But based on what we've got, which is, here it is. I've got my list of all the rules that are getting learned in each area. And I've got my list of miniatures that I need, including where I need them. And I've got all of the miniatures that I need. I've already pulled most of the kobolds and the dragon out. They're in the dice tray. They're over there. I think that's a good place to end things. I think it's a good place for us to wrap up and move on out. So for those of you who've stuck around for a couple of hours listening to me prepare a Pathfinder game, I really appreciate it. It's been lovely hanging out with you. Who can we go and bother? Who is botherable on the Twitch? Oh, we are absolutely going to bother Zach Speaks Giant, because Zach Speaks Giant is running And I quote from the title, D&D, but it's The Mummy 1999. So we're absolutely going to raid over into Zach Speaks Giant. A really wonderful individual I've had the pleasure of meeting in person. Oh my god, Bones is playing in this? Oh, phenomenal. We're definitely going. We're definitely raiding into Zach Speaks Giant. Not going to be a particularly large raid, but hey, what does it matter? Look, chat, thank you so much for hanging out for the night. Let's go say hello to some new people, for some of you, some returning people for me. I am going to try and have a relaxing night after this. I will be back for Tabletop Tales on Sunday at 6 p.m. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you over at D&D, but it's The Mummy 1999. Be well, friends.